Okay, let's do this again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Creatives Coffee Hour, hosted by me, Artemis North, Artemis North, and Shadows Pub. And welcome. Does anybody have anything they'd like to start with today? Eagle
I've got
Spirit.
something cool.
Oh, go for it, Ivan.
Yes, we are the crypto generation.
Oh, wow.
So I decided to remake a skull I made around 6 days ago, and I think this one turned out way better. And I also found out how to make my own.
That's amazing.
So that's your pattern?
This one, no, but I'm still working on new ones that I did sort of make from 3D images.
So those dotted lines, are those perforation lines?
Yeah, that's where you glue them.
How do you make your perforations? Do you have a little wheel, or do you poke them, or what do you do?
There's flaps that glue to the back side, so it's a lot of pieces gluing together.
Wow, is it ever? That is amazing. Okay, you know what question I'm going to ask. How long did that take you?
3 days.
I believe it.
My phone's empty.
Pardon?
My phone battery is dead.
Oh, uh-oh.
That's not good.
Does that mean you're going to have to leave us?
I can't even press push to talk.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have something I'd like to share with you people. And I'm just pulling it up now. I've had to redo my computer, so everything is now new. I found these pictures when I was going through my archives when I had to redo my computer. So I can't give anybody any credit because I don't know who did these. They're old. But isn't that an interesting idea to do with pieces found in nature?
Oh, that's really pretty.
I would never have thought of that myself, but I think that's an amazing piece.
Well, and technically it wouldn't be that hard to do.
No, it really wouldn't. It looks quite simple.
Yeah.
A little bit of paint and you're off.
That is really cool.
I also found this.
Oh.
Now, would you believe that's made out of a plastic pop bottle?
No way.
Yeah. I found a few other pieces, too, that are pretty clear that they're made out of plastic bottles.
So, Deeth Labs asked on the first one, how did the leaves get colored?
On the first one. I believe they painted it. Or do you mean the dragonflies or the flowers?
Probably on the dragonflies.
It looks like paint. Wouldn't surprise me if it's just dollar store paint. It's beautiful, though. Now, this one here is another old one. I can't give credit because I don't read whatever those symbols are. But this person's taken a plastic bottle and cut out a whole bunch of leaves and made an amazing light fixture.
Kitty Girl suggested that maybe the wings on the dragonfly was maple seed pods.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I forget. Being Canadian, there are maple trees everywhere. We call them maple keys up here.
Oh.
And you throw them up in the air and they fly like helicopters.
We call them helicopters.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was pretty logical.
Just cut to the chase and call them helicopters.
Yeah, we just, we don't add extra words. They're helicopters.
So
Yeah,
this
you
one,
Americans are like that. You keep taking U's out of words too.
Yes, we do. We do. There is no reason to have a U in a word.
you is useless. Oh, that sounded really mean, didn't it?
Well, it did, considering it's the Queen's language.
Well, okay, I'll
Yeah.
behave. Oh my gosh. So this last one here, getting away from topics that get me in trouble. This last one here is hard to really see unless you probably pull it onto your own computer and blow it up, but it shows how someone has sculpted a 2-liter pop bottle. Absolutely amazing what people do. Hi, Ingenuity. Who else came in while I was busy?
Oh, we got
Simone, good to see you. And Kitty Girl. Yeah, isn't that crazy, Simone? It's a plastic pop bottle. It's amazing what people can do with them. Instead of ending up in the landfill. Excuse me. I wonder if where you guys live, if you have this issue. I almost said shit shoe, but it really is that too. Here in London, they figure that about 40% of recycling ends up in our landfill because we don't have the facilities to process it properly.
Well, here they say you have the two different things that you recycle in one bin and the other in the other bin.
Hmm.
But technically, they say that once it gets there, they just put it all together because, yeah, for the same reason.
It's kind of sad, really, when you think about it.
Right. But they do the recycle thing so that people feel better about recycling. But technically, it doesn't get recycled.
I think we should all recycle like they do where Shadows lives in Northumberland County. Everything is either wet or dry, and everything that's dry goes into a blue bag, and it gets taken to a facility where locals are hired to sort it out, and they make money off of it. Some of the things are sold, some of the things are recycled. It just makes sense. I wonder how many people do you think they're employing over their Shadows?
I'm not sure how many they're employing at the moment. So our dry goes at no charge, and then we pay about $3 a bag for the wet garbage.
Which is really cheap because it's $1.50 a bag here for garbage, and there's only certain things that you can recycle here.
Well, they even have that too. That you can only put X amount in the recycle bin. But yeah.
Here, about the only thing that they really restrict us on is we can't put styrofoam in recycling.
Oh, that would make sense.
Any of your other paper products or tins and bottles can go into the recycling, but they do need to be rinsed out.
Jan, I have to ask, you've left yourself wide open. You say even in space they recycle pee.
Yep.
I have to wonder. I've never tried it. I've watched people do this on TV, but after you recycle it, is it actually drinkable water that tastes okay?
Yes.
Yep.
It's processed.
That's amazing.
It's similar to the type of process that the DART team uses when they go into a disaster area. The DART team is a disaster. Anyways, it's a rapid response team that flies into disaster areas, and they do things like taking dirty water and making it into drinkable water as they get people back up on their feet. Hey, Freedom.
Hey, Freedom.
Do you drink a lot of pee there, Freedom?
Thanks for asking that, Snook.
What was that?
Thanks for asking that.
Well, he says it's his favorite topic. It had to be asked.
Yep.
I'm really glad you caught that one. I missed it.
Maybe he'll come on and tell us why it's his favorite topic.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
No, I was just kidding.
Oh. You gotta stand closer to Stacy D to pick up the connection.
Well, just to change the topic a little bit, Simone, can I pick on you a little bit? I've been away. I went away and then I had to fix my computer and I haven't gone to look at the Needlework Monday post. Have you posted anything lately you'd want to share? Oh, couldn't hear you.
Yeah, you're lighting up, but your voice isn't coming out. Maybe try to disconnect and reconnect. Yeah, she's trying to disconnect.
Oh,
Good.
kitty girl.
Okay, don't get mad at me, people. But
Oh, no.
American beer does kind of taste like that to me.
Oh,
Well, sorry,
it's
but
been
that begs the
said.
question, how do you know what pee tastes like?
Well, true.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe you go from the smell and try to kind of figure it out that way. I don't know. People say things taste like crap, and I often wonder that question too.
It could be like hipster pee based off of how hydrated you are. Small bet.
Personal experience.
Yeah, American beer actually does have a lower concentration of alcohol than Canadian.
Yeah. That's why a lot of the little microbreweries are coming back because they have a higher, alcohol content.
Yeah.
I've
And
never accidentally peed on my hand and somehow managed to put my hand in my mouth at the same time.
ingenuity, these are pretty specific. I'm wondering if these were things that happened to you.
Yeah. These don't
This
sound like
this is
accidents.
this conversation's making me feel better about last Monday.
Get too close to a wall and yes,
All the above happened. I'd feel for you, man, but you're over there. And you might have pee on your hand. So, Simone, you came back at a good time. How'd you make out?
Still crickets.
Oh, I guess we're not
Do you have
hearing your lovely
push,
voice.
push to talk key on?
Yeah, she's lighting up, but we're just not hearing any sound from her.
Go in your settings and make sure that you have them. Don't have them on default. Have them on whatever thing that you.
Push talk.
Oh, on your output, instead of default, make sure that you have whatever it is you're using, a headset or whatever.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Technology can be so frustrating at times.
It can be.
Like finding out that using a Bluetooth headset on an older computer that's supposed to have Bluetooth, you might as well just give up.
Yeah. Well, you know my thoughts on Bluetooth in general. So.
This is such a favorite. Kitty Girl did a drawing.
Oh, I'm gonna share my.
So, Deeth, do you have some photos of your brush lettering?
Not really, no.
Oh shoot, where did it go?
Yeah, I did calligraphy years ago too.
Oh, that sounds interesting, Deeth. I'm not familiar with you at all.
Deeth
My
is new to the
friends
platform.
always ask me to. My friends always ask me to write their name on their notebooks and whatever. So that's pretty much all the experience that I have.
Well,
I'll make something quick.
okay.
So
Calligraphy is a dying art. Go ahead, Snook. Sorry.
That's all right. I just want to share what I did yesterday. It would stop moving around. Okay, So yesterday I live streamed some landscaping in Sims.
Oh, fun.
So this is what it started out looking like. And this is how far I got.
Oh, wow, that looks neat. Takes me back to Farmtown.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really cool. How long did that take you?
I was live streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. So hour and 20 minutes.
That's not bad. I love the shape.
Thanks. Yeah.
You should come do my apartment.
If it's digital, sure.
Damn, I tried.
Do you live digitally? Now you can homestead or live digitally.
Digitally. Yes. Yeah.
That's
Digital.
tough to say.
So Dee says brush pens produce a contemporary and spontaneous feel, but fine dip pens make a traditional, elegant feel. You could write sales copy like that, Dee.
Yeah, you could. Oh no, you lost your dip pen.
I had one of those when I was a kid. The dip ones. The dip pens.
Yeah,
The dip
I remember
pens.
one of them.
Yeah, now we aged. We have our own dip pens.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I haven't gotten there yet, but it'll happen, I'm sure.
I just, I'm putting my push to talk back on.
No, don't do that.
See, when you mentioned that, Artemis, it reminds me of Brother Stephen's, was it his 60th birthday? Or were you there for that one?
No, I missed that.
Well, we had a little gathering, and it was joke gifts. So following on after he opened his package of Depends, came a sweatshirt that he got. And this sweatshirt had little wee gold lettering on it. It was a dark color. And he looks at it and he starts laughing, and then it got passed around the room. And it was the type of lettering where you really need to get up close to see it, and when you do, the lettering says, nosy fucker, aren't you? And it is exactly what Steve would say.
That is our brother.
Yep.
I'll never forget the time he was about 17, 18 years older than me, and I used to go hang with his kids. And I went running into the kitchen to tell him something, and he wasn't in the best of moods. And he said, so what do you want me to do? Stand on my head and break out little assholes and shit all over? And I just kind of looked at him and went, I'm out of here. Yeah, he's very soft-spoken. So how did you make out, Dave? Did you find a picture to share with us? Oh.
I understand Kitty Girl drew a picture. Is she going to put her picture up?
That's a good question.
I've come across that bumper sticker. It's pretty cool, Kitty Girl.
Were you following too closely?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I was just really good eyesight that day. It was one of my better days.
So, Simone, would you like to, I see you're having a problem with getting on voice. Would you like to just share your post in the chat? Okay. For those of you that aren't familiar with Simone, she's part of the Needlework Monday crew. And I personally think she's a very talented needle artist. And she shares the good, the bad, and the ugly, which is really nice to see. You don't need to blush, you deserve it. And you're really active. You're really active in the community, which is amazing. I'm terrible. I find myself out looking at more posts than I comment on. Oh, this is pretty.
That's a beautiful.
So why is it called the Marion jacket? Seamed jacket.
Oh, so you had to sew this all together after you made the pieces?
For the cold autumn with Robin Hood to keep you warm. Because of this shortcut.
Gotcha. Oh, it's pretty. This is gorgeous. So how long did this one take you to make? Some weeks. That's not bad at all. I've been working on a sweater for almost a year. Excuse me. Yeah, you're right. Crochet is faster. Nice job, Simone. Just gorgeous. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so is there anybody else here that has a current post or pictures or anything they'd like to share? It's your coffee hour.
I was just looking for a book for you to show you. That you might like this whole series.
What's it about?
Knitting.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, if it'll let me do the link. It's operator error.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. It didn't do the title of it. But if you click on it, the jacket she has on, I made. And it's actually just all knit, and it's really easy to do. I mean, it's a beginner. And these are really cheap. I spent more than that. But she shows you how to make vests, and then there's a purl book and like I said, it's a whole series of books. But it's a really nice way to start learning how to knit, and then actually getting something that you can wear, and it doesn't take you 7 years to do.
That is really actually pretty striking. Sometimes the simple things are the best.
Yeah. And I still wear that jacket is really warm. It's really warm and really easy to do.
So how long? Sorry.
Well, because you're just knitting. You don't have to, you don't have to remember to purl. You just knit. And you knit in sections, and then you just whip stitch them together.
So how long did it take you to knit this one?
I would say less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And I made it gives you the different sizes or how to size it up, because I'm not a small person.
I hear you on that.
Yeah. So, right. It's not too complicated when you do, and that's why I really love this book and her patterns, because I'm trying to figure out where I put it. I could take a picture of mine.
Oh, cool.
But it might take me a minute, so talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, why, thank you. So I found this shop up in Tobermory where I was. And it was one of those places you go in. It was called the Circle Art Gallery or something like that. And I walked in, and at first I walked around, and it was the usual stuff, and I'm not really sure it was handmade, to be honest. But then I went out to the back, and they wouldn't let me take any pictures, or I would share them with you. But there's an artist up in Tobermory that is sculpting books. They're taking books and using the pages to create 3D shapes. And it was the most amazing thing I've seen in a long time.
Why would they not let you take pictures?
Well, I asked her that, and she said, well, it's the store policy. And I said, why, are you afraid I'm going to copy this? And she just kind of looked at me. I said, really, I don't have the talent. I just want to share it on my radio show. And she said, well, no, I can't. So that was fun.
Really good public relations. Was she the store owner?
No, she was a young girl, I would say probably college age or a little younger, probably just getting in the hours to pay for school. So there's that.
It would be interesting to email the owner and say, she was only doing her job, but why do you have this policy?
Actually, that's not a bad idea because there's a few galleries up in Tobermory. And actually, some very famous artists have been up in that area and painted their works from that particular area because it's so rugged and beautiful. And the galleries won't let you take pictures. None of them will.
Like, that's just not good public relations. It doesn't promote the area. And that's a tourist area. It's not an industrial area. They need that tourism.
Yeah, we decided to leave my mother-in-law's and go into town. And the reason we did is because it was June and all the kids were in school, so it wasn't as busy. Still pretty busy. But normally, Tobermory in the summer, you can hardly get through there because they have a huge ferry called the Chi-Chi-Mon that goes up to Manitoulin Island. And there's a harbor, and it's just all these attractions. So it's really hard to get in there. But even now, it's really busy. And, if they did a little PR, it would go a long way. Because the galleries were not busy. The galleries where there was maybe 3 other people in them. So the Hive says, what you do is approach them in a manner to promote their establishment and then choose from what is there you use in your show. Which I should have done that, but I wasn't prepared for what I saw.
Well, you'll get back up there and be more aware this time. Maybe email them ahead of time and say, I'm coming up for a visit and would love to be able to promote your stuff on my show.
That's a really good idea. Maybe in the fall, when we take our visit up there in the fall when it's quieter.
So forewarn people, I may be hosting a game.
Yeah, but is the Banfield topic on the table or off or under the table?
Let's put it under the table.
I'm kind of sorry I missed all that. That sounded kind of interesting.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
I still say, though, how the heck can you do that? Do you not have to remove a couple of ribs? Sorry, but I had to ask.
Yeah, there's some details you really don't want.
Oh, it looks like we're getting some rain here. There's hope for us.
Nothing here yet.
Okay, so it looks like we're having a quiet day. Does anybody have any thoughts on Steam or any questions or anything going on that you might want to brainstorm about?
Sorry, I was just taking pictures. I finally found my
Yes,
spot.
Kitty Girl. Please post your drawing.
Oh, sure.
That's creative. That's what the show's for.
You betcha.
I'm not sure if it works now.
Yes.
There.
It does.
Very, very sorry it was a cable.
And I just noticed that you were posting in the other voice chat or text chat. You were telling us about a crochet pattern. Maybe you could elaborate now you've got your voice.
Okay, but I think someone else wanted to post something about drawing before.
There we go.
Ooh, that's beautiful, Kitty Girl.
Oh, wow, Kitty. That's, I'm just going to come right out and say it. That's every sex all wrapped up into one. Is that what you intended?
No, that really was not the intent. it's supposed it's supposed to be feminine, but I can see I can see where you get that. Yes.
I didn't even go there, so there you go.
Well,
Actually, maybe Kitty Girl would like to share the paragraph that she's written just above the picture.
It sounds like Artemis is in need of some.
oh no, I'm good, thank you.
She's pretty feminine.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a personification of the eternal feminine aspect of the divine, and it's known in Hindu thought as Shakti or Parashakti, Adi Parashakti, several different names for it. But it's a foreign concept in a lot of religions. The patriarchal religions, believe that men were born in the image of God and women were not. Women were, taken from a part of man, so they are not in the image of God. But most of the world's religions, the majority of them do have some concept of feminine aspect of the divine, and that's what I was supposed to be personifying here.
I love it. I think you captured it.
And I wanted it to be a simple drawing, and I wanted it to represent all women. So that's why there's an absence of facial features and so forth. It's supposed to represent all women of all cultures, races, whatever.
It's one of those pictures that you kind of stare at for a while. And what you see the first time isn't really what you see the second time.
Well, that's interesting. I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't really think about it that way, I guess, since I executed the drawing, So that's,
Yeah.
What I did was I took art paper and I used these gel pens that I've got. And, well first I kind of outlined it in pencil real faintly, and then I came back and inked in the outline. And in fact, I've got a kind of a GIF image I can post that shows the whole thing coming together. Let me find that. So many files on my computer.
I like your GIF at the bottom, or your GIF, sorry.
That's what I was looking for to post in the chat.
Both GIF and GIF are correct pronunciations.
It's like tomato, isn't it?
Yeah, so I inked it in, and then I started, and I colored the little bindi on the forehead in red with the gel pen, and then the hair is done just with yellow color pencils, and it's on art paper.
See, my pervert mind went right to the red looks like a clitoris.
Okay, I can see that, yes.
Well, that's where mine went. I didn't think of the other.
But now that you've pointed it out, I can see it.
Right.
It is something that cannot be unseen.
Right. Exactly.
But now you can see it with a different perspective, though, Deeth.
Well, I'm not at all offended by that comment, because if you read the post, it is the interaction of feminine yin and masculine yang energies that precipitate the process of creation. There's the patriarchal religions, kind of believe that the male god waved his arm and said something, and bam, creation came into being, But don't look at it. I think the beauty of it is in Hindu thought, and I say Hindu thought because a lot of people talk about the religion of Hinduism. There is no religion called Hinduism. That is the Western culture's inability to fathom that there are a lot of different religions in India. dozens of them, and they just collectively call them Hinduism. But there's actually Shaivism and Vishnaism and Shaktism and all these other different religions that are separate, but they all hold a lot of common threads. And so, yeah, in Hindu thought, the god is the action, and the goddess is the power, the energy behind that action, and it takes both to make things happen. So, yeah, it's kind of like a yin-yang thing.
It's true. Everything in life really has the female and the feminine and the masculine.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah. Thanks,
I,
Kitty.
for a simple drawing, I think it holds a lot of meaning, just even if you didn't read the post, which I mean.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And yes, to answer Simone's question in the chat, Prakriti, yes, is always a dynamic force, most definitely. Oh, yes, and the hive, yeah.
Well, that depends on the woman and how she deals with them, Jan. But you wouldn't get that one.
Well, I've got boobs, and I still like boobs myself, so hey,
I'd take any boob that was offered.
Good to know. Good to know.
For some women, they're a curse to be contended with.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't go horseback riding with just a plain bra on, I'll tell you that. Because you will spend the whole horseback ride holding them.
See, that's why I love kayaking so much, because my life vest just keeps them there.
Yeah.
Well, that's one problem I don't have. Mine are not that big, so.
Yeah. We started to gallop, and I was like, ah! And, yeah. Not good.
It can be back changing.
I can't.
Poor Deeth is sitting up there going, what the heck am I doing here? But I noticed that you posted a piece of your calligraphy, and that is really good.
Thank you.
So you did that just when we asked you about your calligraphy?
Sorry?
You did that just in a few minutes?
Yes.
That is really cool.
That is pretty indeed, definitely. Bravo.
So, Simone, did I hear Shadows talking about a pattern that you wanted to talk about?
Okay. I'm not sure because I already said my English is so bad I can't follow your comments really good. Yes, I tried to write a series about crochet and knitting patterns, and there are so many different ways to do them, bottom up or top down or seamed, and I wanted to explain this so everybody dares to knit something for themselves or friends.
Well, I'd say your English is quite good, at least speaking it. I understood that perfectly.
A lot of it is we talk too fast. I run into that with my daughter-in-law. Like when me and my son are talking, she can't follow because we talk too fast. It's kind of like listening to Spanish people talk, and it all blends together. It's the same as English when other people are hearing it.
I don't think there's any that speak faster than the Jamaicans. Remember them, Artemis, when they would come in at harvest time?
Oh, yeah, man. They brought the ganj with them.
The Jamaicans used to come in as migrant workers at tobacco harvest time, and they would come into the general store that my parents owned, and we would actually have to get them to slow down because they were speaking English, but they were speaking it so rapidly that it sounded like another language.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I run into it with my daughter-in-law, that I have to remember to slow down.
Well, some people from the New York area do that too, especially, I forget which borough it is in New York City, where they speak so quickly. But anyway, I've had them come down here on vacation and speak English, and it's hard to understand them because they're talking 90 miles an hour.
I like Injun's comment, like an Irishman on meth. And what do you
Yeah.
think of that one, Jan? Or have you never tried the meth?
Let's hope he hasn't.
Meth? No, I've never tried meth.
Or just an Irishman?
Weed, acid, coke, and beer, and
All
spirit.
at once?
Oh.
Yeah. You take a trip, you smoke on it, you can drink on it, it's all cool. Serious. It's not that, I suppose it depends on who you are as a person, that, if you're gonna freak out over stupid shit like, well, you don't do stuff like that. But if you kind of chill out a little bit, yeah, and acid's not gonna be a bad trip.
So,
This is,
okay, go ahead, Snook.
sorry, this is the jacket from that book that I ended up making. And I tried to get a little closer on the other ones so you could actually see. Because the bottom is just one long piece. And then it's just a bunch of pieces. And then you just sew them together. So it's really easy knitting is really my point.
That's a beauty. I love the wool you used.
Yeah, and that was it was like half wool, half whatever. So it was just gotten at it wasn't the expensive stuff. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, that would be super expensive to buy the expensive stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Simone says it has this tweet character.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I didn't add buttons because I was lazy, but it's very warm. But it was was like one of the easiest things I've ever made.
Way cool.
And actually completed. So that's why I said that book is, which now is like $1.50 or whatever. But it really has some nice patterns for a beginner, and even if you just want a project where you don't have to think.
And those sometimes are the best ones.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to be able to finish something, because having unfinished projects in the box from hell isn't always fun.
No, correct. Yes. And then you have your husband going, why do you keep buying more yarn when you haven't finished what you started?
And then plates start flying through the air and the front door slammed.
Yeah. Been there.
Well, I can't say I've ever done the plate thing. I never wanted to break my china. Wasn't worth it.
No, I just mentioned the garage, which is full of shit.
Go break his stuff. Hi, Azaria.
Hi.
Good to see you. How's Kitty Baby?
Well, he's much better, thank you. I was so sad all weekend, but he seems to be back to himself now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And how about you? Are you back to yourself?
No. I don't
So
know
you're
why.
taking it harder than Jeffy.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was sick.
I know. I don't know what happened. I got so sad, and I just can't shake it, so I'm trying. But at least Jeffy's better.
Is Jeffy coming back and cuddling with you?
Yeah, he
See, he's telling you,
yesterday.
don't be sad.
I know.
It's
Yesterday he started his cuddles again, which is good.
Aw. It's hard to shake the sads once they settle in, isn't it?
I guess it's like trying to, you can't shut it off like a water faucet or something. I don't know.
Chocolate.
Yeah,
Chocolate.
I need some chocolate. I don't have any.
See, again, this would be a really good purpose for emailing people food.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
Shane
accept
did come
chocolate.
through with a hug last night, so email him and tell him you want chocolate.
But yes, that's true. I'll have him bring me home some chocolate and hugs.
Speaking of chocolate, their daughter took us out for lunch yesterday because it was Father's Day. So we went to this place called the Burger Joint, called The Works, and they must have had 40 or 50 burgers on their menu. Food was awesome. But part of my husband's Mother's Day, yeah, I wish it was mine, Father's Day gift was, we're Trekkies, so one of William Shatner's most recent books that someone else wrote for him and he's taking credit for. And this chocolate bar that had bacon and potato chips in it. He shared a piece with me, and I got to tell you, I want more. It was salty and delicious.
Chocolate and potato chips. Now that's a combination.
Well, actually, it was bound to work. Remember those chocolate-covered pretzels you could get?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Choco-taters. And Simone's leaving us to
my
cook dinner.
Dinner without chocolate.
My mother's
Glad
side of
today.
the family was real big about wanting something salty after something sweet, and I can understand that. I used to know this girl, she's grown into a woman now, but when she was little, she used to like to crumble up potato chips in her ice cream.
Ooh,
Oh, now
that
that would be
sounds
good.
good.
Artemis?
Yes?
Artemis,
Yes?
you're starting to sound like Agrode.
Why?
Because we can hear you typing.
Oh! First, it's my mouse wheel. Well, I have to say goodbye.
Try turning the sensitivity down on the mic.
Okay, let's see if I can do this without blasting your eardrums.
Well, at least hers sounded more like it was a gentle tapping. Agrode sounds so
Angry.
yeah, angry, like he's beating up the keyboard.
Keyboard abuse.
Yeah.
Okay, is this any better?
No.
We can still hear it.
Okay.
Tap gently.
Yes, believe it or not, Ingenuity, I'm wearing a headset.
Yeah, she had to give up on Bluetooth, but she does have a headset on.
Okay, let's try this. Let's see if I'm pounding. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, well, I give up. I
It
just
loves
won't
you.
type.
Can you go in your sensitivity settings and then watch the yellow line go up and then type?
In
And then,
Windows? Do you mean in Windows?
no, in Discord.
Oh.
You go into your settings.
Oh, automatically determine input sensitivity?
Yeah, but don't do it on the sensitivity input sensitivity. Take it off of auto.
Okay.
And then when you hit your key, you'll see the line moving up and down, and then move the little white thing farther to the orange until when you hit a key, it doesn't go into the orange.
Snook, I'm so proud of you. You did that without saying the doohickey.
I did.
Hello, this is Steve at Ramble Tech Support. How may we help you?
Okay, Deeth, we're keeping you.
I would like to say for the record that I have no business being in this chat because I drink tea, not coffee.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
I don't
allowed.
even drink coffee. I drink soda, which I need to stop drinking.
Coffee is more of a euphemism for taking a break.
Right.
There's actually more uppers in tea than there is in coffee. More uppers, get up and go in tea than there is in coffee. But saying that, in the first 30 minutes after you wake up, you should not drink either tea or coffee. And if you drink after 30 minutes, you will feel the benefits of the tea or coffee much better.
Really?
When I wake up, the first priority is coffee. I don't care what time it is.
Yeah, but if you wait, actually give yourself something to do for that first 30 minutes before you have that coffee, you will feel the benefit of that much better.
If I wait 30 minutes to drink coffee after I wake up, I'll be back asleep.
I was just thinking that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but so you need to make the ritual of making coffee last 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Just be really slow about it. Okay.
Right.
When my coffee maker takes 30 minutes to brew a pot of coffee, it's called time for the vinegar.
So what's the thing behind that, Jan?
Well, it was a study. I can't remember who done the study. I read these things. It's kind of like with pop stars and stuff like that. Yeah, I might like the song, but doesn't mean I'm gonna know who sings it. That first 30 minutes, your body is still waking up or something like that. It is, and it doesn't really get that kick from anything that it takes in as such. But after 30 minutes, your body has adjusted from sleep to being awake type thing, that when you give it stimulants, it reacts to the stimulants much better.
Huh. I'll have to try that out.
I've always heard, too, that the first thing you should drink in the morning is a glass of water, although I don't do that. I usually go straight for the coffee, too.
Well, I generally wake up in the middle of the night, well, sort of the middle of the night. And when I come back from the washroom, then I drink the glass of water. Because I'm going to be awake for the next hour to hour and a half. And then I'm going to snooze for another hour, and then I'm going to get up. So I'm actually probably awake by the time I actually get up.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing.
Well, it depends. If you wake up and I'm still awake, then that's a whole other story.
Well, yeah, then she just gives me a heart attack instead.
Let me guess. Do you go into voice and talk to her? So out of the blue, there's Snook's voice?
No. But the avatar popping up at 5 o'clock in the morning when you expect her to be in bed till 11, that'll do it.
She was leaving me a message so that I would read it when I wake up, and I saw it, and I started chuckling, so I answered it right away. And you could feel that. Well, what?
It's a good thing she'd already gone pee.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, at that point, my coffee was brewing and the cats were eating, and life was normal except Snook was awake.
I gotta tell you, I was trying to get into the habit of going to bed at 11 and waking up at 8, but I've thrown that aside because I miss all the good stuff if I go to bed too early.
Ingen said it perfectly the other day. You have a window that if it's like 10 to 11, if you go to sleep at that time, you'll fall asleep. But if you go past that window, then you're up like till 3.
Yeah, that was me last night. I got a text about 10:30 saying, "Can you come to the hospital with me?" So we were over there for many hours, and by the time I got up, I've only had a couple hours sleep.
Yeah. Oh. That hospital at 10:30 it doesn't sound good.
And this
Well,
was not a
actually,
niece or a nephew, I hope.
no, it was Kisses 420. She
Oh,
pinched a nerve or something, and it was so bad when I went over there. She was all pale and tears running down her face. So we went over to the hospital, and she got her some good drugs.
oh, but that's why, like, Engine and I do most of our talking at like 2 a.m. Because we both missed the window.
That's funny.
Hey, Yidneth.
Hi, good to see you, Yidnith.
Initially, I thought ingenuity was pronounced ingenuity.
That's because his spelling is terrible.
Yes, that is true.
And I'm kind of wondering why he's in text instead of on voice.
I don't know.
Because he
He's
always
got
has.
a fan on.
Yeah, I was going to say he always has that fan going. You can't hear him.
Actually, I don't think it's a fan. I think it's a
The
turbine.
people at the writer's block always refer to kids as spawn. That's the term.
Spawn?
Yeah. And Neek
Yeah.
is one of the main ones in there. She doesn't refer to her son or daughter. She just goes Spawn 1 and Spawn 2.
My spawn number
Yeah.
1 refers to people who have children because she's made a choice not to have kids as breeders. So we're breeders.
Oh, is she part of the child-free community?
Pardon?
Is she part of the child-free community? I believe there's one, a subreddit on Reddit.
No, I wouldn't say she's part of that. I don't want to offend anybody because this is just my opinion, but I believe our world is overpopulated. And when you have huge families these days, it just makes it harder on the environment. But that's not a judgment because everybody has a choice to live the way that they feel. So my daughter decided that she doesn't really want to have kids. She likes the way that she's living anyways, and she's using the environmental excuse.
Well, she always has been an environmentalist.
Yeah, you're right, Ingenuity.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm gay, so I don't really have to think about that.
Well, you can adopt.
Unless I want to go for adoption.
Well,
Yeah,
that would be your
nothing wrong with
choice.
that.
Yeah, I always say that Shane and I can't have kids because we don't want them. So we can't.
Well, it just depends on who you're talking to. I mean, quite honestly, I was of the I don't want kids. I'll just be the good aunt, and then, oops, and then, it was the greatest gift I ever got. But up until then, I would not have said that because you don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, Artemis's daughter, at the ripe old age of about 6, maybe 7, but probably 6, had a very serious
Truly right.
had a very serious conversation with me one day, as she informed me that, Aunt, it's going to be up to us to save the environment. And I looked at her and went, who? She says, my generation, because yours is screwing it up. And she's kind of
Wow.
right.
Wow.
So yeah, she's always been a bit of an
Wow.
environmentalist.
Well, on the kids thing, I think it should be kind of like it is in Japan. Your first kid, yeah, we'll do everything for it. We'll pay for it, school it, diapers, we'll give you boogies for it, we'll give you baby clothes. The baby ain't going to cost you practically anything to support the kid. We're going to do everything for it. It's going to have the best goddamn medical care it can have. Now, if you have a second kid, you're going to pay for fucking everything. Clothes, shoes, diapers, boogies, nothing. There's nothing there for you. And then that brings the population down.
Oh, there's a lot of cans of worms in that statement. A lot of things. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
know.
Yeah.
I
I
think it
can see
kind of
what you're
comes down
saying.
to individuals and couples need to be able to
Yeah.
make a choice without judgment by others.
Right. Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean,
I believe it will be wise to move away from this topic of conversation before stuff happens.
Before what
oh,
happens?
this is a very I understand what you're saying, but this group of people is pretty
It's not nothing said in a personal manner, and I
No.
no.
don't
I
think
see.
many
Yeah.
people. The ones who
Other,
do
I've
take
been
things
on,
personal are not here right now.
I've been on other Discord groups where they were more particular
Mm,
about such things.
yeah, this is with the people that are in here right now, it is yeah.
Yeah,
Most
sometimes this can be a really touchy subject, but if you're talking with people who respect your views and don't expect you to think the way they think, then it can work.
Yeah. Because
and
I think that Yidnith, who loves rats, which I mean, I'm not a rat lover, but I think it's really cute.
Well, I have to admit, the pictures that Yidneth has shown us, they are cute. I don't know that I want one,
Yeah.
but they are cute.
Right. You
I've
know.
actually, one of my piano students, they had rats as pets, and the father was telling me about the research that he did, talking about how they're very social, like a cat or a dog. So it was interesting to learn that.
Yeah, you're right, Azaria. Down at the lake, this young girl, Candace, had 4 or 5 rats, and they were all her little friends. And I was never really big on rats because I hadn't been exposed to them at that point. But they all had their own personalities, and they enjoyed doing tricks and getting treats. And they would come right up and go up your arm and snuggle right in up by your neck. I
Oh,
never. It was amazing.
cute.
I know.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it strikes it as kind of odd. For me, my rats were my home, and they represent like a time where I was doing better, and I had my own house, and they were just like running on my feet. So I just like relating them with home and family, and family can come in lots of sizes. I mean, everybody has their own choices. I study molecular biology, and they are very empathetic, and they're very smart. Mine would fetch a ball, make the roll, spin left and right, come to their names. They were potty trained, and most importantly, they are amazing with each other. I mean, they are a pack. They love each other until the end, to the point the younger ones take care of the old ones. And I think they're very underrated. Of course, I wouldn't touch a rat coming from the sewer, as I wouldn't touch a cat coming from the sewer, or a person coming out of the sewers without not knowing what they may have. Um, but I sort of do it also to, I don't know, it sounds a little bit weird, but I sort of just like, um, it's just like a kind of tolerance that when I post these memes, of course, if someone says me, oh, I'm really afraid of them, and they make me shiver, they make me uncomfortable, I would hold right away. I mean, I respect that entirely. But it also gives me just like the idea of tolerance in people. You know how they react? Oh, not because they can't find it cute or not, but the way that they tolerate it, or they say, okay, maybe I don't like them that much, but I can understand it. And I don't know, that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, there's always a difference between a feral animal and one that's domesticated. So.
Definitely.
I love your message about tolerance. I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody has to like everything else, but yeah, I mean, that's your family or your rats. So why not? I don't have to take care of them.
some people are the same with cats and dogs, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then I have my husband.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But is he house trained?
Right.
After 24 years, he is well trained.
Yeah, mine is not. I have not done a good job of training the husband.
Some aren't trainable, so don't blame yourself, Azaria.
It's true, Azaria. And some things that we want to change really badly are sometimes some of the things that we fell in love with.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, like I like the way Shane is kind of scatterbrained and like he gets excited about things, and part of that comes through with he's just very messy, and I can't change that. So
Well, because you changed what you fell in love with.
right.
I figure if my husband can put up with me, I can put up with him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that's always what I say. People are like, because I feel bad because they'll be like, well, how can you? And they take my side, and I said, yeah, well, but he's got to live with me too, you know.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
I'm a little biased there, Artemis, but he got the easier part of that equation. He's a good guy, but he's harder to live with than you.
Well, yeah. But he's brutally honest because he doesn't have a filter. So whether you like it or not, what you see is what you get. And I kind of respect the hell out of that.
I agree with that.
But I've also learned that he's definitely the best in his family.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's true.
Yes. No, it really is true. They're all good-hearted people. They're, let's just say, yeah, let's just not say anything. They mean well. But yeah. And they gave me my husband, so I'll keep it.
Well, there you go.
So maybe on that, maybe we should close out our recording. Now that I've already said incriminating things.
And be aware that Crazy is not having a show today. So you can close out the recording and continue chatting if you want to.
Sounds good. Okay, so thank you everybody for coming to the Creatives Coffee Hour. As always, it's been a fun chat, and I'm really glad that I have this opportunity to get together with you guys every week. Thank you very much, and thank you, Shadows Pup, for all your help.